Hi guys, it's Frankie from Frankie Tech. Good to see you guys again, and I'm here with my Frankie Tech Phone Awards 2019. Now, all the phones you see in front of you are going to either win an award or are runners-up in today's test, and some great phones we've had this year in 2019. Now guys, I'm using a different setup here. I'm using my Sony a6400 and a little bit of a different setup, so bear with me as I kind of work through it. But let's get started with this phone awards. We're going to go fast and furious here. The last one took 34 minutes. I'm going to try to get this one done in a much shorter period of time. Let's get started with the camera section, and the first award here goes to Best Photo Camera. So Best Point and Shoot Photo Camera, the award and the winner is the Pixel 4 XL. Now this Pixel 4 XL, as you guys know, it is a phone that has been very polarizing in Android world. From all the phones I've tested, there is no other phone that has really kind of let me down just in terms of what I expected and what I got than this Pixel 4. Now there's one redeeming quality to this phone, and the only reason why most people will pick up this phone, and that is the camera. But boy, what a camera it is. And in terms of still photography, even though the shutter is not the fastest, even though the quality you could argue is better on other phones, the results on this device, as you can see, are just spectacular, right? Like so, and so many other just terrific shots you can get out of this point and shoot camera. Now, yes, are there other cameras on the market that do as good a job now or even better? Yes, there are, and I would consider runner-ups to this section: the iPhone 11 Pro Max, the Mi Note 10 Pro, the Galaxy series. The P30 Pro is still producing results that are almost as good as the Pixel. But when it comes to point and shoot, I gotta give it to the Pixel 4 XL, still here for 2019. And it's probably the only reason why you'd want to pick up this phone now, because the point and shoot camera capabilities from dynamic range and all that are just great. And now going to the next section, Best Video Camera of the Year. It goes to none other than the iPhone 11 Pro Max. And if you guys know, this is my go-to point and shoot video camera of all time. The iPhone is just making it so much easier to film stuff, put it on the computer, airdrop it basically to my iMac now, and just go right into my workflow. Just setting up this video right now with my Sony a6400, gosh, it took a while to do, and there's a number of reasons why I do appreciate video shooting on the iPhone. It's so flexible, the dynamic range is spectacular, 4K 60 FPS on every single sensor, including the selfie camera and the 3 telephoto, ultra wide and wide angle cameras, and it is just an incredible device to use for video taking capabilities. Runner-ups here, I will give it to the Galaxy series, the S series, the Note 10 Plus, and even the Galaxy Fold right here has some great video taking capabilities, but no one in Android world comes close to the video quality of the iPhone 11 Pro Max. Next section we go now is the design section, and we have the first award here called the Most Innovative Design, and that goes none other to the Galaxy Fold. None other than this incredible device that, as you guys know, I have been a huge fan of. It has been a transformative experience using this phone, and I will tell you, it is still my main phone. I still have my main SIM, as you can see right here. I still got my WhatsApp messages coming in, and I'm using this on the daily. In terms of innovation, there have been other phones that have come out, like the Moto Razr and the Mate X, that may be challenging this phone, but this is the only phone of this kind that I've used in this year. And preface this to say, guys, most of these awards are going out to phones I have used on the channel. Now, I'm not going to give an award to a phone that I have not used. And in this case, this is the most innovative phone I have used, maybe not just this year, but maybe any year of my life. It is an incredible device, and we'll get more into it a little bit later because I do have more to talk about with this Galaxy Fold. But it wins this innovation award right here for Frankie Tech Phone Awards, the FTPAs 2019. And now we go to the next section, best overall design. And I don't have the phone in front of me here, but hit the B-roll. We got the Galaxy Note 10 Plus. In terms of fit and finish, there was no better phone this year. The iPhone 11 Pro Max came close. The P30 Pro and the Mate 30 also kind of gave it a run for its money. But just looking at the footage of this phone, I remembered how incredible it was in the hand. I'm so sad that I wasn't able to keep this phone. You guys know the story. I don't want to go there, but let's just say if I had not had this phone have what happened to this phone, basically, I would probably still be using it today because it was that good. And so for overall design in terms of fit, finish, and just overall stunningness of quality, of build, and of looks goes to the Galaxy Note 10 Plus. And now we go into another section, the best budget phone. And this one is an interesting one because until just a few days ago, I had another phone selected, but this is really its spiritual successor or alternative, you could say, and it is the Redmi Note 8T. Now the Note 8T represents kind of a number of series here on the channel, the Redmi Note 8, the Redmi Note 7, and really the continuation of all those phones. This Redmi Note 8T is bringing incredible design capabilities to the table. And I think most importantly about this phone that you need to know is that I do appreciate over the Redmi Note 8 Pro. I just appreciate the Redmi Note 8 series in general over the Note 8 Pro series. And the inclusion of NFC now on this device for $150, you are getting an incredible device right here. There's NFC enabled. It is a terrific phone and is really just the culmination, I feel, of the Redmi Note 7 and Note 8 series for this year. Honorable mentions in this category, though, go to the Redmi Note 7. The Mi A3, which I did bash in terms of the display quality, is still a terrific buy, and it offers that stock Android experience for much less. So another phone to consider. And the Redmi 8, which I haven't kind of put here on the table, but I do have it with me, is a great phone as well and brings a lot of design and just really great specs. 5,000 milliampere capacity battery for less than $150, even $120 US. You may want to step it up to the 8T at this point for that price, but still a terrific phone nonetheless. And now we go to best mid-range phone. This is a new section this year, but there have been so many great mid-range devices in this kind of area that I do want to give it here to the Mi 9T. And the Mi 9T, I don't have it with me, but I do have the Mi 9T Pro as a stand-in, and the Mi 9T Pro is pretty much almost the same design, looks, and appearance as the Mi 9T. As you can see right here, it is a gorgeous phone, and the Mi 9T is no different. I think there's no phone that probably offered better quality, just better kind of value overall than the Mi 9T Pro and the Mi 9T series, and obviously the K20 Pro series in China and in India as well. Honorable mentions to the Mi 9T over, let's say, other phones. The Realme X2 comes to mind as another terrific phone that I think offered a lot of just overall value to the market in terms of a mid-range option with a Snapdragon 730G. I did enjoy that Realme X2, but I think the Mi 9T still just takes it here. It is just bang for buck, one of the best options you can get even to this day. Now talking about best software, another phone I don't have in front of me, but I need to mention it here, the OnePlus 7T. And until recently, I was using this phone on the daily. It was an incredible device. Oxygen OS has come so far, and it is by far the most fluid, fast Android experience you can get on any smartphone. I gotta say, in the time I used it, there was nothing faster, and I still probably believe it is the fastest phone on the market, maybe only second to the OnePlus 7T Pro, which I have not tested, but Oxygen OS takes it best software of 2019. But if I do need to give an honorable mention here, I can pick any single phone, but I'm going to pick this one and MIUI 11. The Mi 9T Pro, I think what kind of offered the best version of MIUI 11, and from just the kind of edges of the display being curved, which I typically don't like, it makes for an even smoother look and experience. The settings app in MIUI 11 is greatly improved. You can see just the fonts, the appearance of all the icons. It just looks so much better. You have great new features like dark mode scheduling, which is amazing. And you just have a really great look overall in using MIUI 11. Now, it isn't perfect. There are some stutters here and there on these phones, and I think it will improve over time. But for now, I will give MIUI 11 the runner-up spot for best software of 2019, and I hope Xiaomi can continue improving it as we enter the new year. And now we go to what I call the Frankie Tech Fail Award. And this one typically has gone to like a phone that I have not been a fan of. And there were a few phones, I would say, this year that kind of let me down. But I will say the biggest story of this year, the biggest disappointment by far, has been the Huawei ban. Everything related to it. And as a stand-in for that here, we have the Honor V30 is just a representative of all we've gone through. But since the ban was announced on Huawei not being able to use Google services, it has pretty much killed the interest of these phones in the Western world. Now, I know it's doing very well in China, and I have tried to continue reviewing these phones on my channel, but just from all the phones I've reviewed, the Mate 30 Pro, the Honor 9X, the level of interest is zero. You guys have zero interest in these phones, and I think Western audiences are pretty much kind of writing off Huawei now. It is really unfortunate because there's some great hardware that is being developed here by this OEM, but at the same time, it is becoming much more insular. It's becoming a China-only kind of product, and most of you guys are turning now to Xiaomi, to Realme, Oppo, Vivo for your kind of China phone solutions here. Huawei is being left in the dust because of it. It is really sad, but I say it's a major disappointment. I'm not knocking this on Huawei. It's not Huawei's fail. It's a fail for everyone. It's a fail for Huawei, for the consumer, for the industry in general. And this Honor V30 is a great example. A great phone that I think is of importance to Xiaomi to compete against in China, but they don't need to worry about this phone anywhere else. And it really is an unfortunate disappointment here of 2019. And if I would throw out a few kind of just mentions of phones that kind of let me down, I wasn't a huge fan of the Red Magic 3. And as you guys know, the Redmi Note 8 Pro was a little bit of a disappointment for me. Wasn't a huge fan of that phone, and I've chosen the Redmi Note 8 as my kind of real preferred budget option over the Redmi Note 8 Pro. And now we go to the Most Improved Award. And the Most Improved Award this year goes to Samsung. And just Samsung as an entire company. And here is the Fold as the stand-in. But that includes both the Note series, the S series, and let's not forget, guys, the Galaxy A series. I did review a number of Galaxy A series phones this year, and Samsung has really kind of just stepped it up this year. In my eyes, if you had asked me from the beginning of the year that I would be using my main SIM in a Samsung phone, I would have laughed in your face. I would have said, not that company, the company that I couldn't stand. I have had a love-hate relationship with Samsung for years, but it is definitely moving into the love direction now, from One UI to the improvements they made in all their software to just the overall experience of using their phones. This Fold being one of the most innovative phones of 2019, Samsung has stepped it up, and I'm so happy to see, and they're releasing some of the best phones of 2019, and we'll see in 2020 how they do as well. But my Most Improved Award, definitely, at least in my eyes, goes to Samsung. And now we enter the Most Affordable Flagship. So the best affordable flagship, we'll call it. And this goes to another phone that is not here, but it is here in spirit. And when I thought about affordable flagship, I had to think of one thing alone, and that was the specs. And that goes to the Realme X2 Pro. The Realme X2 Pro is probably the one phone that I wish I still had. I may even have to pick this up again because it was just such amazing value for the money. When you compare it to its kind of more expensive cousin, the OnePlus 7T, there's not much that it was skimping on. And as you can see just from these images, great hardware, amazing specs, Snapdragon 855 Plus, and just top of the line features, 90 Hz refresh rate, AMOLED display. It just knocked it out of the park and really competed with the K20 series in a very strong way and is continuing to compete. So my best affordable flagship is the Realme X2 Pro. But we do have runners up here, obviously the K20 Pro represented by the Mi 9T Pro in this video, as you can see. And we also, I want to do a shout out to the Galaxy A70. That new A series has been great for Samsung, and the A70 represented a real shift, a real improvement, I think, in their mid-range and affordable flagship phones. Now, it's not, I would say it's probably more of a mid-range in that case, but I just wanted to shout out that series in general, and they've released some awesome phones beyond that I have not reviewed, like the A80, the A90, and others. And now we go, the final two awards here of the day. Best flagship phone. And the best flagship phone tip for me is really an easy one here. Guys, it's got to go to the iPhone 11 Pro Max. Now, this is the year I truly believe people will look back on and say, this is when iPhone and Apple stepped it up and they focused on creating a phone that was great in every single way. They focused on the essentials: battery life, camera improvements, and just overall fit and finish. The iPhone has been a story of refinement over the years, but this iPhone 11 Pro Max just took it to another level with battery life experience that is just far better than any flagship iPhone I've ever used, and camera quality that then rivaled and even trumped the Pixel and a lot of other phones on the market. I really think this is one of the most versatile shooters on the market. The ultra wide shots, the telephoto shots, the regular shots, and the video capabilities make this phone a joy to use, and it really has been probably one of my favorite iPhones of all time, and I keep it with me, and it probably will end up being one of my main phones to use in 2020 as well. It's just an incredible flagship device, and so I do give it here to the iPhone 11 Pro Max. And to you Android lovers out there, you got to give this phone some props. You know how much iPhone has stepped it up, and I'm sure a lot of you have maybe even considered jumping ship, and if you haven't, it is an incredible flagship. But we have incredible flagships in Android land as well. And I gotta recognize here the Galaxy Note 10 Plus. For the time that I had that phone, I think it just represented the pinnacle of design and build. And it was just an incredible flagship. And so I gotta give it here, the Note 10 Plus, the runner-up for best flagship phone. And last but not least, we have the best phone of 2019. And I gotta admit it here, guys, this is gonna be a little bit of a cop-out because we have a tie and we have two phones that I think could not be any different. Now, one of them a late entrant here. There was one phone that I think had pretty much the title, and it's had it since the middle of the year. You know what I'm talking about. It is none other than the Mi 9T Pro. K20 Pro, call it what you want. This phone, to me, represents one of the most incredible devices released of 2019. Is this the Pocophone F2? It may as well be, because for what it offered in terms of design, build quality, camera, everything, this phone nailed it. It just absolutely crushed it. It's been one of the most influential phones on my channel, and I know a lot of you guys have made purchases of this phone because of my recommendation. I absolutely love this phone. I have zero interest in getting rid of this phone. This is a permanent part of my collection, this Mi 9T Pro. I absolutely adore it, and I gotta tell you, I still find myself using it because of this beautiful immersive display, the very kind of innovative pop-up selfie camera, which I think does make a difference, as you can see right there. What's up, guys? All of these features make for just an incredible device, and for me, for my audience, and for what you guys are interested in, this Mi 9T Pro represents the pinnacle of smartphones in 2019. But like I said, we do have a tie in this, and this other phone could not be any more different. Now, this one is really more of a personal one, but I gotta give my phone of the year other award to the Galaxy Fold. Now, I will tell you guys, when I first looked at this phone, I was laughing at it too. I was laughing at all the kind of the issues it was running into earlier in the year, and when it was discontinued, I laughed some more. I didn't believe this phone was going to be any good. When I finally got my hands on this phone in the fall of 2019, I was astounded. I really have never been more captivated, more just impressed by a device. It doesn't even matter that it's a phone, it's a device. And a gadget and tech is what my passion is. And there's no phone that has elicited more just reaction, more excitement, more joy out of use than this Galaxy Fold has for me in 2019. I am still using it as my main daily driver, and yes, it is not the perfect phone. The small display on the front is definitely an annoyance. I find myself just wishing it was maybe a half an inch larger. It would be so much easier to use. And the fold mechanism, you know, it does have its issues. The crease is there, as you can see. And the phone is getting a few little scratches here and there. In terms of reliability, we'll see how long this lasts. I'm 1.5 months in, and it is going great. But I will tell you, when I think of innovation, when I think of the reason why I fell in love with phones, this is the reason. This is the reason why I love tech. It's because of phones like this Galaxy Fold, which, like the original iPhone, just wowed me. And from the touchscreen device from the original iPhone to this Galaxy Fold and the foldable experience of using it, trying out different things is something that Samsung is known best to do. And in this case, I think they really are onto something here. This really, I feel, represents a future of phones and a future of design. And if anything, it just represents one of the coolest, most incredible devices that you can ever use. Every single person that I show this to is just wowed by it. Everyone wants to fold the device, and everyone can just see how its use is actually changing the smartphone game. I find myself using content consumption on this. I find myself just browsing the internet and experiencing the world in a way that I never have before on the go. And because of that, because of its amazing innovation, and because of just how much I absolutely love this phone, the Galaxy Fold is my other 2019 phone of the year here on Frankie Tech. And let's talk about it quickly. The snub of the year, a phone that I did not mention in the phone awards, but I'll mention it now, the Redmi K30. And you may be wondering, Frankie Tech, you put it on the table, but you didn't mention it. Well, let's face it, guys. This phone was a runner-up in a number of areas, but it really did not, I think, merit to me any awards this year. In fact, I would say the general feeling I have with this Redmi K30 is that it is a little bit of a disappointment from the Redmi previous K20 series. I'm not sure why they named this phone the K30, because if it was named something else, I may be able to judge it on its merits alone. And there's certain things you will like about this phone, like the display and some of the design features. But the LCD at this price point is kind of my major beef. And just the fact that this phone, yes, does have a number of improvements. I think it is a phone that will be much more of a 2020 release, even though it is available now in some markets. A lot of you guys will be getting this phone in 2020. So I think it may be on the table for best phones of mid-2020, we shall see. But for now, I just didn't feel enough to give this phone any legit awards for 2019. So that's it for this video, but hit me up in the comments. Which awards do you agree with? Which ones don't you agree with? And which phone is your phone of 2019? Hit me up in the comments. I would love to hear it. And clearly, this Mi 9T Pro, shout out to it once again. It has been probably the single most important phone on my channel this year. Anyways, that's it for this video, guys. And a happy holidays to all my OG fans, to all you guys out there who have supported me this year. Stay tuned, like I said, for more great content in 2020. We'll be doing a revamp of Frankie Tech. I'll be slowly working on that to make something special and new here for the channel. Using this camera that I'm using right now is going to be a part of it, and just finding new setups, new ways to do stuff is going to be the challenge, but it's a challenge I'm ready to take on. And once again, happy holidays and a happy new year to all you guys. Thanks for all your support. And this is where I leave you by saying, this is Frankie Tech signing off. Happy holidays.